One of the ways I've managed to save a lot of money is I don't buy anything. As I showed you in the beginning, those were my three bags. You've seen them before in other videos. They're the three bags that I own. Everything goes in them. And very often I can fit everything into just two bags and be able to carry my stuff on a plane without having to pay any extra baggage fees. I do love books, and so when I was living in Hawaii, one of my vices was buying books. Now, when I was in Turkey, I bought this piece of trash because I was told he was one of the best authors in Turkey, and perhaps he is. But I bought this book, The Museum of Innocence, and I filmed a lot where the book takes place, but I don't really recommend it unless you're, I forgot the term, a museumologist or whatever, someone who loves museums. Now, my friend Chala from my Cubano friend Chala, I met him in Montenegro. Now he's got a degree in basically museums and museumology. There's a term for it though. I can't remember what it is. I'll put it link down at the bottom. This book, I sent him the link, and this book might be really awesome for him. Um, but I was starting to read it because I was loving Turkey, and I'll probably be moving back there to teach for half a decade or so. Um, but there are much better authors than him. This is more for high society Turkish people and people who want to like walk in the footsteps of the ultra rich um, in Turkey. It's basically kind of a love story, but it's just like Lolita mixed with Twilight, mixed with some other rubbish of just and place dropping of all the places that all the rich and famous go. Then and Another hint is I save all my stuff from hotels. If I happen to stay in a hotel, the handy wipes. Many restaurants in parts of the world don't give you napkins, but they give you a handy wipe at the end. I save those for buses, trains, cleaning up before eating. Soap. This you might think I use to wash my body. No, I use these to wash my body, and then I use these to actually wash my clothes when I'm in hostels or places that just have a sink. Now, these lovely gifts were given to me as the Airbnb that I'm in right now in Sofia, and that's a hand towel I won't use. As I showed you before, I just use the one towel so we can save on water. And again, here's everything I own pretty much. I will wash all of these today because I have an actual washer and dryer. Um, but like I said before, normally I would just wash like two t-shirts, one pair of shorts, and one sweater, so that I always have something dry to wear and something semi-clean to wear. That's the other pair of shorts that I bought in Africa, and I've gained a little bit of weight, so he wouldn't let me put them on before I bought them, but they'll work. I might be able to let them out. So with COVID, I had been working full-time job in Maui High School, and so I was getting unemployment for the whole year of 2021, trying to do substituting gigs, but that wasn't working because there was COVID, and even though people were calling out, um, I didn't really want to work because I don't want to be responsible for getting anybody sick or getting sick myself. Um, so I was taking the free money like a lot of people and investing it and learning like the Dogecoin people did, like the Game Stonk people did. I was investing and learning more. Like I said before, I've been investing since I was 16. So I'm not new to the game. I've already got stocks in renewable resources, and that's what I switched to in 2000 to renewable resources when they were 16 cents each. So I'm telling you all this because there are ways. Most middle schools should be teaching this. Most grade schools should be teaching this about credit card debt. Long before you get to college, you should be learning about how not to get into credit card debt. You know, as a 35-year-old man going back to school after being away for 15 years or 12 years, uh, meaning traveling in South America. I wasn't away like, locked up, he locked up. I saw these young 19, 18-year-old kids in line to get their first credit card, and I was trying to tell them, don't do it, because they had the young, girl and guy there going, hey, do you want to party this weekend and you don't have enough for drinks for your friends? Here's a card. You can't pay that car insurance bill? Hey, get this card. It's only 12%. Yeah, it's only 12%. I remember my first card was like 3.5% or whatever. Actually, yeah, something like 3.5%, 12% for your first card. The funny thing about credit as well, as soon as you apply and receive financial aid, suddenly your credit goes through the roof. I have never understood that. So now I'm on the hook for the next 5, 10, 20 years for my education, which should be outlawed. But now suddenly I can get a credit card at Macy's. I can get a credit card at whatever hardware store that I used to go to. I can't remember in New York City. But suddenly, Macy's, I just for shits and giggles, I filled out the application, and after I got approved for financial aid, they're like, "Oh yeah, you're approved for up to $300 credit on this, or $1,000 or whatever." I'm like, "Sign me up, give me the card." And I built my credit by paying it off 100% 2 weeks before it was due. I don't mean to make light of COVID. However, it taught the world a lot of things. Many of the people I've met since June 18th, 2021, when I first left my home of Maui, Hawaii, and more especially, oh yeah, in Vegas, I met a couple people that were traveling again, and they were vlogging. And she never got back to me, actually. I was going to try to collaborate with this one young woman that my sister Lisa met at the hotel that we were staying at. Um, there are so many more bloggers. There are so many more people doing IT or even nursing. My good friend's wife is a psychiatrist and a psychologist, and she had done a lot of her sessions online, or just like what I'm doing now, just Zooming or Skyping with her patients, and that was effective. Of course, I believe it's so much more when you can actually interact, just like teaching, when you can see their body language a little bit better, when you can interact with them and definitely see their facial and body language when they're responding to certain things. Just like teaching, I see my kids come in the door, I know that they're in a good mood, or something bad might have happened, or they're ready to work, or they're not ready to work, and I can deal with that. But this episode is about money. So traveling, this is a bunch of useless money I have left over from Ethiopia because they would not let me pay part of my new visa, which they cost me to have to get a new visa. They wouldn't let me pay partially in their monopoly money because the world wants US dollars, they want euros, they want pounds. Pounds right now are still top dog, and they want pounds. So these are useless to me until I go back. And this might be about $35. I don't even know. But it's garbage right now. Oh, a big shout out to a really good friend of mine, Rebecca. She has her wonderful uh, debt tales. Debt as in money, I owe money. Debt tales on YouTube as well. Definitely check her out. She has amazing, wonderful advice for everybody who wants to pay down their debt and get out of issues and start to save. She's got some great little tips about how to save, $5 a week or a day, or even your spare change. And just like many other things, information is free on YouTube. So just search for whatever you want to learn. I don't buy books. I do recommend people like Dale Carnegie, Dr. Stephen Covey, Malcolm Gladwell, but definitely read Friedman's "The World Is Hot." The world is hot. Yeah, the world is flat, hot, and crowded. And then his sequel to that is "Flat and Crowded," or something like that. I don't know. He's written 3 or 4 books on finances. Some of my PhD friends can't stand him. Some of my economy friends can't stand him. They think he simplifies things too much, or he generalizes too much. I don't know. For me, learning about how the world is becoming more equalized because of this device, the phone I'm looking into right now, and how it has educated me and can educate millions, and you can sell products through this medium, just if you have Wi-Fi, I mean, that is leveled the playing field immensely. Read a few books, watch a few videos, ask questions. And one of my biggest things about my plans for the living is find mentors. Mentors will save you a lot of time. Mentors will help you get from point A to point Z, as they say in England, so much faster with making fewer mistakes and saving tons of money. Along the lines of mentors, one guy who talks about that quite a bit is Ty Lopez's Why I Read a Book a Day and Why You Should Too. He doesn't exactly read a book. He also has videos on speed reading, which I don't recommend, unless it's for fiction. But I'm a literary teacher. I love the written word, so read the books and drink it in, enjoy it. His speed reading video is okay. The one on mentors and the law of 33%, watch that. That can be your guide and your Bible. Go out and locate two or three mentors because they're not as far away as you think. They're just asking your parents or your cousins or your uncles and aunts and what your dreams and goals are, telling them what they are, and then they say, "Oh, I have a friend who graduated high school with another person that they're best friends, and he's a doctor. He's a neurologist. She's a financial wizard. Susie Orman. I have a friend who knows Susie Orman, and she can maybe give you some advice. Kathy Wood. Oh, yeah. So and so graduated with Kathy Wood. Let me give him a call to see if he can talk to his wife to see if she can get in contact with Kathy Wood." It's really not that hard. You want to be like Beyonce? She's got fan mail, she's got information. I tell people their phones are their most valuable source of information, the best teacher in the world. Use it properly, and you can fly higher, faster. So, so I hope some of these tips have helped you. Uh, Definitely get Sean Covey's or Dr. Steve Covey's. Oh, start 7 Habits for Highly Effective Teens if you're younger. 7 Habits of Highly Effective Businessmen, or whatever Dr. Stephen Covey's book is. But Dr. Stephen Covey also wrote The Third Alternative. If you're in business, buy The Third Alternative, and also The Eighth Habit. Um, I read those a couple years ago in Hawaii, and both are outstanding for understanding like the psychology of business and how to get the best out of everybody. The Third Alternative, I think, is one of my number one all-time books for business, for relationships, for everything. It's almost like Dale Carnegie's book, but Dale Carnegie's book, How to Shake Hands and Meet People and Have People Smile at You or whatever, written in 1926, that's kind of dated because in his book at the end with relationships, it's like, yeah, just make sure you satisfy your woman so that she can stay happy in the kitchen and raising the babies. So yeah, he's a little dated with the before the sexual revolution or the feminist movement, but definitely check out Dr. Stephen Covey's the Third Alternative. But before you read that, read the 7 Habits, because that leads into um, the Third Alternative. They stand alone books, but definitely. Those of you in debt, I'll put a link down to a book I read in Hawaii about getting out of debt, talking to your debtors, and getting your payments reduced. Um, if you're just graduating college, you can definitely work in the inner cities or do some civil service work and for 5 years, and they will reduce your debt by 5,000. If you're a science major or math major and you're a teacher in New York City or other places, they will reduce your debt by 17,000. At least that's what it was back in 2011, the last time I was in New York City teaching. Again, check out Rebecca's debt tale and learn a lot about how to get out of debt as well, or how to manage your finances. She's brilliant. Rebecca on YouTube, her channel is Debt Tale. and there's my exit.